I look to you. I look to you. After all my strength is gone, in you I can be strong. I look to you.
Well, happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to Community Coffee, sponsored by the Evanston Cradle to Career. My name is Lisa Lode from Lift Your Life Radio on Radio La Différence, and I'm sitting in today for my radio sister, Kimberly Holmes Ross, and the Advocates. It's their season finale. Woo, 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 woo. And of course, our Queen Kim wanted to be here today, but she did have an emergency, and so we're sending good thoughts her way, and we're going to do our best to represent, because you know it is absolutely a privilege when you get to represent such a great leader in our community. And so thank you, Kim, for trusting me with this mic. I'm going to be on my best behavior. Now, you know, on Lift Your Life Radio, you may hear some things that need to be corrected, but not on Community Coffee, Evanston Cradle to Career. I am going to behave myself. And so we want to bring the volume down on this one, and we have a number of guests in the studio. If you can all bring your volumes down, like turn the volume off so that there's no echo, because I'm getting an echo and then I get confused. So I think it's coming from over on this side. So make sure your volume is completely off. Wonderful. So today, Community Coffee always brings information to our community members because we want you to be well informed, especially during election season. It is so important that we know who we're voting for, we know the issues they stand for, what their platform is all about, so that we can make informed decisions. And so Kim wanted to make sure that we did that. We have a number of individuals running for District 65 school board, and so today we wanted to meet all of them. Let me be clear, we invited every single candidate. Thank you to John Martin, who let us know that he could not be here today. We did have two other candidates, RSVP. Unfortunately, they are not here. And we had one candidate who did RSVP who showed up. And I love when candidates show up, because that means we get to ask them the questions that are important to us. And so the first reason we want to consider voting for a candidate is when they show up. And so thank you to candidate, I want to make sure I get this right, and Dana Muboyayi. How's that good?
Yes, you did very well. Yes. That's
well,
me.
welcome to Community Coffee.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And we had one candidate that we didn't hear back from at all right? So everyone was invited, 3 RSVP'd, 1 showed up, 1 let us know he couldn't be here, John Martin, and 1 did not respond. Is that right? Got everyone. Okay. Kim, how am I doing so far? If you're able, let me know something in the chat, Kim, and let me know when I need to straighten up too, if that's necessary. So thank you to all of our studio guests for being here today. Let's give them a round of applause. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you so much. And for those who stopped by and filled out one of our affordable housing surveys, which is being sponsored by Connection for the Homeless, they were entered into a raffle for some gift certificates. So you have this morning to stop by as well before noon. And if you do, your name will be entered into the raffle as well, and you may win a gift certificate from Community Coffee, Radio La Différence, and Lift Your Life Radio. All right. Community Coffee is every Saturday, 10 to 10:30 a.m. Kim wants to make sure that the community is informed. Of course, there will be a pause after this show because they're going on hiatus because Kim has to get some rest. All right. And all of the advocates. And shout out to all the advocates who are not here today, but we do have an advocate in studio. Are you going to come on camera and say hello? I know she wasn't expecting that, but you know, that's what we do at Radio La Différence. Let's see. Use this mic.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. This is our season finale, but it has been a fun run, and we're going to come back even stronger and harder to inform the community about all the wonderful things that is going on in Evanston.
Excellent. Thank you, Jamie. Before you get off mic, you have to leave early because tell us what you do at 11 o'clock.
Yes, so I have a support group for parents that have experienced the loss of a child, and we meet at Gibbs Morrison every 4th Saturday of the month. So if you know anyone interested, send them my way.
Beautiful. News you can use on Community Coffee. All right, and then we have a youth advocate with us today. Actually, a youth advisor, right? You're on the Youth Advisory Committee, and we want to know who you are and what that's all about.
Hi, my name is Nathan Campbell. They just call me.
Hold on, Nathan. Hold on.
All right, we're going to get a mic on for Nate. Try one more time.
My name is Nathan Campbell.
It's coming. It's coming. We're working on it. You know what? When I walked in today, Nathan was already here. Kudos to you, sir, for being here, for being on time, for being engaged, and considering enough about our city to get involved in the process. So we appreciate that. I know you have some questions for the candidates. Well, for the candidate now, because only one showed up. And we appreciate when candidates show up for the community. All right, let's see, Nathan. Try again.
Hi, my name is Nathan Campbell.
All right, we're good.
I'm with the Youth Advisory Committee. Basically, what the Youth Advisory Committee is we do a lot of things around Evanston for the youth. There's 7 or 6 of us in the committee, and we all have our personal reason of what we want to do to make the community better. Personally, mine is I want more places for the youth to go, like during the summer or after school. Another reason is gun violence, and we have done a lot of things around Evanston. Like we've done these things called First Fridays. There's a big hot party at Mason Park. We're actually gonna have one next month on April 30th.
April 30th, you're starting already? Ooh, are you working with Miss Audrey?
I think so.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. She's a gift to Evanston. Thank you, Miss Audrey. So already in April this starts. Cool. All right. And is it going to go once a month through the summer?
We usually either have 1 or maybe 2 a month.
That is fabulous.
Okay, good. So it's a safe space for youth to meet up and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, we have a lot of different things you can eat. We have movie in the park. The old folks come and they play bingo.
The what folks?
The seniors.
He said
Sorry.
the old folks.
They come.
I'm an old folk. I'm kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's
But
fine.
we appreciate being invited to join you all because you know our youth are our future. So we love spending time with you all. So thanks for the invite. Am I invited?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop
everyone's
by.
invited.
April what?
April 30th.
April 30th. What time?
I'm not sure you haven't come up with the time yet.
Okay, all right. So they just have to stay tuned.
Yes.
All right. Stay in touch with the Youth Advisory Committee so you know what time to show up.
All right. Tell us more about the organization.
Like I said, we do a lot of things around Evanston. I think it was like a few months ago. We were at Town Hall and we had a
Meeting with everyone. We told everyone about our ambitions and everything that we'd like to do for the community. We've had data walks either at YOU, the Civic Center, and a bunch of different places telling people about the housing situation in Evanston, the race problem in Evanston, a lot of different things. So.
Right. We do a lot of things well in Evanston, but there's always room for growth. So I thank you and all of the youth for holding us accountable. Thank you for that.
No problem.
All right. I'm going to give you a moment to get your questions together. All right. And then we're going to give our candidate an opportunity to introduce herself. Now, most of you already know her in the community because she's everywhere. But for those of you who don't, tell us about what you do here and who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ndona Muburai, and as stated previously, I am running for District 65 School Board to become a board member. I am also an advocate. I am an advocate for action with Cradle to Career as well. I do a lot of community work.
Yes, you do.
And the reason why I decided to run for the District 65 School Board is because, like you stated, here in Evanston, we do a lot of things very well, but there is room still for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that District 65, though it does do a lot of things well, there still still does have a lot of room for improvement, especially as it pertains to the ongoing lagging literacy rate for students of color, particularly Black students.
So I absolutely want to hear about that, but I want them to take a little bit, or I want you to take a little bit more time to let them know what you've done in the community already. And then we're going to talk about your platform. All right? Because I see you everywhere. So what are you doing out there? What you been doing?
Well, I do a lot of volunteering. I do a lot of volunteering with reparations.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that do not know, Evanston is the absolute first city in the nation to have reparations, where I did volunteering with getting the word out to residents who were not aware of reparations work of Robin Ruth Simmons here in the city, where I went to educate people on the work that she was doing. not just our seniors, but also some of our young people that weren't aware of what was actually taking place. Even in the very beginning, I too was confused as to what was happening. The work that Robin was doing, actually how the repair work was happening. I also, in the beginning, thought it was only supposed to be about cash, where I learned that repair could take many different forms. I was going out, having meetings, educating people on the different forms of repair. So that was my work in reparations. I also do translation work for immigrants. I am multilingual.
What do you mean by that? Multilingual? What languages do you speak?
I speak French. I also do speak Spanish at an elementary level, but I do speak Spanish. I do understand Spanish. I can read Spanish. I also speak 2 different African languages. My father is from the Democratic Republic of Congo. My mom is from Evanston. But growing up, I learned these different languages.
And I think that's so important because Evanston does have an immigrant community. It's actually pretty large. And I know I'm a child of immigrants, and growing up, I had to translate for my parents. I mean, they did a pretty good job, but, you know, at some point, it was like, tell me what this means. So to have an adult who's available to do that for immigrant parents is something that the immigrant community really appreciates. So thank you for doing that. What else have you been up to? Because I've seen you at more meetings, so tell me more.
Yes. So in addition to that, I began volunteering with the City of Evanston in a current process, which is actually very new with the City of Evanston, participatory budgeting, which enables underserved communities to have a say-so in how the city uses ARPA funds.
That's never been done before.
Never been done before. And my goal was to make sure that the most marginalized communities actually come to the table and tell the city how they believe those funds would be used.
Were you successful in doing that?
Extremely successful.
Tell
So
us what you
communities that typically do not ever have the opportunity to speak. So I created demographic affinity events where we had one for African and Caribbean immigrants. We had another one that was led by, so that particular group was led by organizations that reach out and help to meet the needs of those particular immigrant groups. We also had one that was led by the local NAACP that helped us to bring together not only the greater Black community, but also with a focus on helping to assist the seniors, to bring them to the table, to help them to give their input, as well as the Youth and Young Adult Division, which oftentimes works with at-risk youth. So they had their own group where they were able to give their input. And that group in particular is age range from 13 to about 19 to 20 years old. And then we also had another one which focused specifically on people who are from Asia, South Asia, and also Asian American group. So these are groups that typically do not really have a voice in how the city of Evanston utilizes their funds. And after that, it turned into now these groups are going to be able to create proposals to tell the city of Evanston how they can actually use those monies.
I think that, first of all, kudos to Evanston for even putting that together and making that available to its residents. But I think that is so important because so often decisions are made and a part of the population in Evanston isn't a part of those decisions. Number one, because they don't know. And number two, because they're not educated about how the process works. So I know I've seen you at the community meetings advocating for youth, advocating for the African American community, the African community, the Asian community, that all make up who we are in Evanston. And so the more involvement we get from all of these different groups and we're able to represent all of them makes us a better place, right?
Absolutely.
So thank you for doing that work. Thank you for doing that work. Anything else you want to tell us about the work that you've done before we get to your campaign? Because it's important that we know our candidates, right?
Absolutely.
It's important that we know what they're bringing to the table. It's important that we know what they've been involved in. Have they been working in the community in the past? Not just the past 2 months, right?
Sure.
But I know that's how I met you, through community outreach and volunteering. So then, of course, we became sisters because all women are part of the sisterhood. All right.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
can say, like, even prior to this work, and even before the reparations work, I was doing a lot of advocacy work for immigrant families, even at the District 65 level, long before I thought about running for the school board.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Where
I remember.
I was previously the president of the Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee at District 65, where at that time I was advocating for immigrant families. Where when I was the president, I ran into a number of issues where many of the immigrant families were not receiving the proper resources and support when it came to translation, and even some of them were McKinney-Vento. So for those that are not aware of McKinney-Vento families, those are families that are unstably housed or outright homeless. So they not only were unstably housed and homeless, but they also were immigrants and refugees. So they oftentimes did not speak English at all, or they spoke very minimal amount of English. So they had a real hard time being able to advocate for themselves at the district level, which at that time really pushed me to push harder to try and help to work for these families, to try and help them to get the services that they needed.
Were you successful?
I was, somewhat.
What did you accomplish?
I accomplished by reaching out to get services for them outside of the district. But I did feel that there should be more done for these families.
All right, and that's one of the reasons you're running for office. Got it. All right, let me pause. I got a lot of questions, but let's hear from our youth advocate. I'm going to call you youth advocate, all right? Is that okay? Youth advisor, I guess I can say that too. All right. Okay, so first question belongs to you.
All right, and we know each other.
Yes.
So
How do you know each other?
Oh, I think we met when we were the events we do with Youth Advisory Committee, and I'm also friends with her daughter. She also goes to ECHS.
Okay.
And so we talk.
So you've seen her out in the community volunteering. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have 3 questions for you.
Okay. Start with the first one.
Yeah. What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
I see the board's roles and responsibilities as assisting the superintendent.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes, assisting Dr. Campbell in applying what it is that what he is directed to do in the district. So he's kind of like a director, and the board are his assistants.
Thank you.
So now you said Dr.
Dr. Campbell.
Sorry, Dr.
Campbell
Horton.
is 202. Right.
Dr. Campbell is 202.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. Dr. Horton is 65. Dr. Campbell is 202. And you said Dr. Campbell because you are a student of PhD.
Right, and that's okay because you know what? That makes up our community, and what happens in District 65 also speaks to what happens in 202.
Absolutely.
So if they're not ready, if there's that gap, you know, when they do start, when they do start high school, you know, they're bringing some baggage, and so we want to make sure that the District 65, right, board helps Dr. Horton make the right decisions or administer the decisions so that they're well prepared to enter District 202, right,
Yes.
where they can become youth advocates. All right, okay, so go ahead. And I want to greet candidate for second ward, Alderman Chrissy Harris, who also stopped by. The community put out a call for elected officials to stop by and say hello, and here she is. So we appreciate that. I was saying earlier in the show that it's good to consider voting for representatives who show up for you and show up for the community. So we always appreciate showing up, right? People who show up. Go ahead.
Yes, so that is what they do.
Yes. I just want to put a little side note. When you said about becoming a youth advocate, we're actually opening up slots for kids to become advocates with us.
Excellent.
Since we have seniors leaving us next year, we're looking for more kids
To come.
And how can they get involved?
We have a paper that you can fill out. I know people at the high school that I can give it to in case that would be interested. So I just want to fill it out.
All right, so they should look for you. And do you all have a website, or can they go through Miss Kim?
They
Or?
can look through Miss Kim.
All right, okay, good. So Kimberly Holmes Ross, one of our community leaders, you know that she had a family emergency. She won't be here today, but you can always reach out to her. You don't have to look for Kim because every time
She's everywhere.
she's everywhere. Wherever you show up, she's there. So just ask her for one of the forms. Let her know that you're interested in becoming a youth advocate, and she'll make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Question number 2.
Question number 2.
Yes.
How should the district address underperforming schools?
How should the district address underperforming schools? I think the district should address underperforming schools by first taking a look at what is taking place. Oftentimes, underperforming schools have a lot to do with first looking at what's taking place with the students, and secondly, what's taking place with the educators and the support system for the educators. And oftentimes when the children aren't doing well, there are multiple components as to why the children aren't doing well. And in order to make sure that those underperforming schools begin to perform well, you want to address the root causes of all of what's wrong. And you have to slowly begin to treat those root issues in order for the performance to improve over time. It's not something that can be resolved immediately. It's like, it might not sound like a good word, it's like an illness.
Right.
You have to treat an illness one stage at a time. First, you have to first figure out what the root cause is and treat the root causes one at a time. It's not just one thing that can be done at once.
Yes. Thank you. Last question.
One more question.
What are your 3 overall education priorities that in a perfect world you would accomplish during your
Time
time?
in office.
Good question.
My top 3 priorities, I'll start with the first one. My first one, which is the number one reason that made me first want to volunteer at District 65 before I became the president of BPAC, which is the Bilingual Parent Advisory Committee, was when I first learned about the academic achievement gap, which is now referred to as the opportunity gap at District 65, which was the Black children falling behind at District 65, which I learned, which I honestly was not aware of as a child growing up, was something that had increased over the past 40 years. So number one is addressing the opportunity/academic gap of Black children, which is now Black and Latino and low-income children. That's number one. Number two, addressing the issue of English language learners, because that's a massive issue. Because even though District 65 has improved on their support for Spanish-speaking students, they continue to fall behind when supporting students who speak other languages other than Spanish. And they continue to not value the TWE program because they do not offer a program that enables the students to be fully bilingual in all subjects, and that needs to improve. And then 3 would be to improve the support for SPED children and families that have children with disabilities. And if you'd like for me to go into how I'm thinking of doing that. I do have a plan. It's quite
Extensive.
extensive. I've outlined it in my roundtable responses.
Okay.
I could.
So we can read about it.
You can read
on the
about
round
it
table.
on the
Okay.
round table.
So it's a written plan. It's not something that you're just thinking about.
No.
And I like the fact that you've taken time out to really put it in black and white, so that I know if you gain my vote, I know exactly what it is that you're going to bring. Well, pretty much I have a good idea, a good understanding of what you're going to bring to the board. Excellent.
And I can add,
Yes, go ahead.
because my plan is quite long and it had to be edited for the roundtable. You can email me and I can send you the entire plan.
Excellent. All right, good. Any other questions for the
That
candidate?
was that was my last question. Thank
All
you.
right, excellent. Well, thank you for those. I want to ask just a couple more. And some of it you partially answered when our youth advocate asked his questions. Top 3 priorities, top 3 challenges that you see that make up your platform.
Top 3 challenges. Funding. Funding is number 1. Number 2 would be time.
What do you mean by time?
The fact that so many Black people are leaving the district, and I believe that the people that need the support, all children need the support,
Yes.
but I believe that Black people have waited for so long for so much change to happen, and so many have left and continue to leave because of cost of living. And so many people have lost faith.
That I don't believe that I'm a person of faith, but I don't believe that 4 years is enough to resolve all of the issues. I believe that I will work hard to try and do as much as I can, as fast as I can, but there's so much work that still needs to be done.
But you feel that within the 4 years you'd be able to make a difference.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 2. One more.
The third,
Your platform. What do you want to accomplish when you're elected?
curriculum.
Okay.
There need to be a lot of changes in the curriculum because I still don't believe that children from marginalized communities see themselves
In the curriculum.
in the curriculum
okay.
because it's not sufficient that it's relegated to 1 week or even 1 month. It's not sufficient because I believe that marginalized communities are here all the time. And with the amount of money that's being spent on all of these curriculum changes, because it's an immense amount of money that's being spent, that same amount of money, or even slightly more, can be spent to create a curriculum that encompasses all of these marginalized communities.
That's inclusive.
all year round. There's no reason it cannot be inclusive all year round.
All right. So you want to make sure that you're bringing in diversity, equity,
All year
and
round.
inclusion all
And
year round.
belonging
I love that.
all year round.
Okay. Good. I like that. Did your children go through District 65?
My daughter,
Okay. And what was the experience as a parent for you?
that problem.
Okay. Okay. So it's something that you've already lived. So you've had time to think about and process, and you want to bring some change to the district with that.
Absolutely.
All right.
The
Excellent.
DEIB was not there.
Okay. What do you want to leave us with before we end the show today as a candidate for District 65 School Board?
As a candidate for District 65 School Board, I am not a candidate that just talks about equity, diversity,
Inclusion and belonging. I actually live it. I do the work. I am someone of this community. I am a 5th generation Evanstonian. I'm also the child of an immigrant. I'm also someone who's multilingual. I'm also someone who was an at-risk child. And without the support of my extended family and of my community, I would not be here. And I'm sorry, this is my second time running, and I'm running because I believe that these children need the support that I know I can give them. And I've been attacked and I've been lied on. But I'm running because these children need what I know and I believe that I can make happen for them.
Yeah. I applaud everyone who makes the decision to run for office. It's not an easy decision, and I've been a campaign manager for a campaign myself, local to Evanston, and I know the challenges that you all go through. So I appreciate anyone who actually puts their money where their mouth is and they run. So I want you to be encouraged, and, that's just part of elections. Some people play clean, some people play dirty. So you're going to be lied on, but, when you get in the seat, the children will benefit. So you take it, right? It comes with the territory. I also want to say that Radio La Différence is our community station. It's located in the 5th Ward. All candidates were invited to be here today, and you showed up. You showed up in the 5th Ward, and so we appreciate that. Thanks so much for being on the show. Community Coffee. It's going to be all right. Hang on in there. We want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been my honor and privilege to sit in for my radio sister, Kimberly Holmes Ross. We are sending good thoughts your way, sister. Mwah, mwah. Hope everything turns out all right. This is the season finale, and Kim's going to get some rest. The advocates are going to get some rest, and then they'll be back for a new season real soon. All right, so you all take care and enjoy the coffee. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye, everybody. It's all right. Listen.
For running, thank you for running, thank you for running. You did a great job. Yes. Did you do a lot of survey? No. Give me my charge card. You got to
Showing us the way. Showing us the way.
Excellent. Thanks for coming. Mr. Band, we're going to flip over to Lift Your Life Radio for a few moments. Did you check out your text? Read your text message, Mr. Band. And I'm going to have a girlfriend chat. Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
You're showing us the way.